The first important announcement that I want to make is about the last writing session. This was decided according to the course outline that we will have 5 writing sessions which were graded activities, and each activity was worth 10 points. So we will have our fifth and last writing session on Thursday, February 10th. Let me write it in the chat box as well.
Recording in.
Good morning. How are you, Nimra?
Good morning. I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you. The last writing session is going to be next Thursday. Give me a minute, excuse me. Okay. The last writing session is going to be on February 10, which is next Thursday. That is when we will do our last writing session. Let me share my screen with you. All right, I just started my screen sharing option. Can you all see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now this is course outline. This is the same document that is uploaded on Moodle, and the same document that I shared with you when the semester began. And this is your assessment criteria for your final, for your overall evaluation. You were supposed to take a quiz and its weightage was 20%. You already took it when we were doing in-person learning, and I have also shared the results with you. Then we were supposed to do 5 writing sessions. We already did 4 of them, and the last one we are going to do this coming Thursday. These were graded activities. As you can see, this is mentioned clearly in the course outline that each activity was worth 10 points. Then there was a final exam. And this exam is worth 30%. All of this is mentioned in your course outline. And with that, I also mentioned that if you publish a letter to the editor in any English or Urdu newspaper of national level, you will get 5 bonus points for overall evaluation. One of your class fellows, Raja Zain, was able to do that, and he's going to get 5 bonus marks for that. Your deadline, if you want to get a publication, is February the 18th, before the semester ends. For this, okay. Similarly, in the course outline, I have also mentioned that we'll do several writing assignments. Students need to maintain a record of these exercises, and I was supposed to announce final exam, how exactly we will do it. So today I am going to share with you what exactly you are supposed to do for your final exam. Let me share my screen with you one more time. All right, you are seeing this document. This is a Word file. I will upload it on Moodle as well sometime today after the class ends. After I am done with both classes, I will upload this document on Moodle. However, in today's session that I am recording as well, I am going to explain how you will do the final exam and how I will assess your performance. Final exam has 2 distinct components. Number one is your writing portfolio assessment. Remember, several times during our classes, I have been asking you to maintain a record of all the writing activities that we have been doing for this class. Opinion writing is a writing intense course. We did several writing exercises, and with that you were also supposed to maintain a record. Not only that, you were also supposed to maintain your drafts. So there are 2 components for final exam. First is writing portfolio, and the second is oral exam, which is going to be in the form of your recorded presentation. And in this for the second component, you will answer questions about your favorite national or international columnists, and questions about learning from this course. Now let me explain this a bit more. The first part, which is writing portfolio, it has 20 marks. The second part, which is about your recorded presentation, this has 10 marks. All right. The deadline for the first part is February 15th. Your writing portfolio should be, let me, your writing portfolio should be on Moodle by February the 15th. So you are doing your last writing session on February 10, and after that you will have 5 days, including a weekend. February 15th by uh, yeah, before the midnight. Okay. Whereas for part two will have 10 marks, and you can upload your recorded presentation uh, by February 18th, which is actually, let's do it February 17th, because it's going to be the class day. We have a class on February 17th. February 17th, again by before the midnight. Okay. So these are the deadlines that you need to consider. Here is a brief rubric. However, I will be sharing a more detailed rubric in the next class that we will have on Tuesday now. Next Tuesday. We are not going to have virtual session like this on Thursday, because for Thursday's class, I would like you to focus only on your writing session. After this, we will virtually meet on Tuesday, which is going to be February 15. The same day, which is going to be the deadline for writing portfolio, I will take your questions. Like, let's say you have deadline today by midnight, and I will come to the class to take your questions to help you finalize your things. And same thing. So let's say Thursday, on Thursday, you have submission deadline before the midnight, and I'll come to class to take your questions and help you finally prepare. For part A, please submit your writing portfolio on Moodle by February 15th at the latest, something that I already discussed. Here is the rubric for the assessment of your writing portfolio. Number one, in your write-ups, there should be language, grammar, spelling, punctuation, accuracy. We have, when you were, I have shared this information multiple times already in my classes, that when we were doing activity in class, we took it as a practice session. Your writing sessions were actually your practice sessions where you were learning. Remember, I all the time you wrote, I would comment on your work, I would suggest edits, I would tell you this is how maybe you can do your beginning sentence and everything. So no, but that was a practice session, and I was not assessing your performance. Now comes the time when I will assess your performance. I will see how much you have learned during the class. So there should be accuracy, language accuracy. There are 10 marks for that. If you follow the norms of opinion writing discussed in lectures and notes. Remember, in my last lecture, I told you that when you wrote your the introductory paragraph for feature, many of you were actually paying more attention to the background details. However, a feature is usually started in a dramatic way. So you need to begin your feature in a dramatic way that is more appealing to your readers. So you should, if you have followed norms of writing, opinion writing, especially in your write-ups, and improved revised drafts, there are 5 marks for that as well. Your write-up will clearly tell if you spent time in revising your drafts according to your learning during the classes. So this is the rubric for the writing portfolio. For your uploaded recorded presentations, sorry, not February 18th, February actually 17th. Please know that you are supposed to answer 3 questions. For the recorded presentation, your presentation should only be 3 to 4 minutes long, not more than that, and you will upload it on Moodle. First question is related to your choice of favorite columnist and reasons for liking him or her, and also answer this question, that what have you learned from this course? How do you think your learning in this course is going to help you on in future, in your future scholarly endeavors or professional endeavors? So there are 7 marks for the first question and 3 marks for the second question. I'll stop here to take your questions if you have any. Ji Hube Zahra, Kanwar, Hamza Khurshid, Nimra, better please turn on. Ji Zain, Raja Zain has just raised his hand. Go ahead, Zain.
The recorded presentation. Can we use PPT slides for that
Yes.
presentation?
Yes, you
Okay.
should. You should. But for the recorded presentation, I'm asking you to answer only two questions. First question is, who is your favorite columnist? I have been asking you to prepare the answer of this question several times in my classes. Now, you should answer your question in a way that reflects your research. So, for example, you say that my favorite columnist is Rafia Zakaria. She mostly writes on issues related to education. This clearly tells me that Afia Zakaria does not write on educational issues. She's known for writing on feminist issues. And this clearly tells that your answer is not based on research. In order to talk about Rafia Zakaria for about 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, you need to have solid research. This is something that you have already been doing. For this question, I have only told you that there are 7 marks for answering first question, 3 marks for answering third question. However, I have not given you the rubric. I will give you the rubric in my next class on Tuesday, which is February 15. We are not going to have class on February 10 because we will be working on the writing session. However, on February 15, I'll give you details that what exactly I'm expecting. Although you already have a vague idea, I will make it further clarified. Any other question? Exam pattern is decided. By the way, next week is the last week for the classes. Any other question? Let Hubab join us. Ji Hubab, are you here with us? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hubab, you joined a little late. Let me repeat the information that I was just saying. I would like you to pay attention to this information. First, I was showing the. Let me show her the. Ji, bete Hubab, I'm repeating this information only for you because you joined a little late. I'm sharing my screen, and what you see on the screen is actually a copy of course outline. As you can see in the course outline, it's mentioned that you were supposed to take a quiz that you already did, and I also shared the scores with everyone. There were 5 writing sessions in total. We have already done 4 writing sessions. The 5th and last one is going to be this coming Thursday on February 10. And there were 10 marks. These were graded activities. If students participate in writing sessions, they were given marks for that. Then final exam. Final exam is of 30%. This is the only thing that is left for this course. So I am going to share my screen one more time. This is your final exam going to be. This is how your final exam is going to be. The final exam has 2 distinct components. The first is your writing portfolio, and the second is your recorded presentation. Okay, in which you will answer these questions about your favorite national international columnists and questions about learning from the course. For the writing portfolio, there it has 20 marks and its deadline is February 15. All right. Which is going to be next Tuesday. I will have a class. I will help you work on your final portfolio. I will take your questions, whatever you might have that day. And then second part has 10 questions and its deadline is going to be February 17th, which is next Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, next Thursday. So please submit your writing portfolio on Moodle by February 15. And here is the rubric. There are 10 marks for language accuracy. There are 5 marks for following the norms of opinion writing. And there are then 5 more marks for revised and improved drafts. Okay, and then for the recorded presentation, you are going to answer two questions. The first question is, who is your favorite columnist? I am expecting that your answer should be research based. You will get 7 marks, and then 3 marks for answering this question, what you have learned from this course. For this question, for this part of the exam, I would like you to prepare PowerPoint slides, just only 2 PowerPoint slides. In first slide, you will give information in bullets that this is my favorite columnist and these are my reasons for liking him or her. And in second slide, you are going to come up with your opinion that what you have learned in this course and how is your learning you think going to be helpful for your professional and scholarly endeavors. All right. Hubab, this was specially for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This was my this I have given it all the details now that I wanted to about the just a minute. About exam. We are having class today. In next class, we will only work on the writing session. Okay. And then for our class on Tuesday, today is actually my last lecture. This is what I'm trying to say. Today is the last lecture. Let me start my screen sharing option first. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today is my last lecture. Today we are going to discuss review, which is another piece of opinion writing, and the last piece of opinion writing that we still have to discuss. Today is my last lecture. In next class we are doing writing session, and then next week I'll come online only to answer your questions about the final exam if you have any. Okay. All right, review writing. So today we are going to discuss the writing of reviews. Let's first discuss what is a review. Usually my students take interest in this lecture because review is something that almost everyone has done at several places, or at least you are familiar with what a review is. A review is a critical assessment on something. Now let me ask you a few questions. मुझे ये बताएं, have you ever, before going to a restaurant, have you ever reviewed its view? Have you ever checked what are people's views on it? Like, have you ever checked reviews on restaurant?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We all, can you please raise your hands, whoever has done this? Very good. A lot of people 8 participants have raised: Azam, Hubab, Noorillahi, Irtaza, Hube Zahra, Nimra, Daniel, Hamza. Everyone, almost everyone have raised their hands. Very good. So that is a review. What you read before using a facility is a review. Critical assessment is something. Review is a critical assessment. I have written this on my slide, and this is something that we are doing almost all the time. Let's say you go to a fabric shop to buy a piece of fabric for your clothing, and you look at the shelves, and what you are doing is you are reviewing every piece of clothing, every piece of fabric. We are doing reviews all the time in our brain. I go to a stationery shop to buy myself a pencil, and I look at all the range of pencils that are available. I am doing a review in my head. I am deciding, okay, which one I should pick. So a review is a sort of critical assessment. When I ask you this question, that have you ever seen the reviews of a restaurant before you go there? The answer was, or everyone raised hands. By the way, there is a famous I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but there is a famous site. Its name is Yelp. I just wrote it in the chat box. How many of you are familiar with this? Yelp. They are famous for their reviews. Two participants have raised their hands. Nimra and Hubab are familiar with Yelp. Has it ever happened to you that you are in summer vacations, you are going to any hilly area, let's say in northern parts of the country, and you want to book a guest house or a hotel, and you check its reviews? We all do that. Reviews are actually critical assessment on something. By the way, if I ask you what is your favorite restaurant, and how have you developed your opinion on that, it's quite likely that you develop your opinion not on the basis of your personal experience, but on the basis of your on the basis of a review. Is it quite, is it possible? So let me share my example. There is this famous restaurant. I'm not sure if it's new, but it's quite famous nowadays. Its name is Villa the Grand Buffet. Has anyone experienced that? Let me write the name. I just wrote the name. It's on MM Alam Road. The restaurant is on the MM Alam Road, and I heard good things about this restaurant. Like mostly reviews that were shared with me by my friends, and I had a chance to. That's okay if you have not. So I had a chance to go to this restaurant about a couple weeks ago, and I had a very good experience. And now I'll be influencing other people through my reviews. This is by the same restaurant, by the same people who run another restaurant, Wasabi. I believe it's a famous restaurant on MM Alam Road. But yeah, we all rely on reviews. But here comes another question: are reviews publishable pieces of? So it seems to me that okay, I have review about a restaurant, about a book, about a movie, but are they publishable? Should they be published? First of all, are they pieces of opinion writing? Yes. If I ask your opinion on any famous movie or drama or song, some of you will like it, some of you will dislike it, and those who like it will have their reasons for liking, and those who dislike it, they will have their reasons for disliking. That is review. Critical assessment of something is a review. There was a famous, okay, now let me ask you this question: have you ever read a movie review? Raise your hands, please. Have you ever read a, okay, very good. Majority are raising their hands. Kamar, have you ever read a movie review? Noor Ilahi, Kamar? Kamar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now, have you ever read a book review? Is it, I mean, maybe let's say your teacher asks you to read a book, but since the book is pretty long and you do not have enough time, first what you do is you read a book review. So we all are familiar with what reviews are. Are they pieces of opinion writing? Yes, they are. How? Do you, okay, recall your experience from review writing. Excuse me. Recall your experiences from review writing and tell me, what do you see people doing it? Do they criticize, or do they admire? What do they do? Recall any movie review, or Hubab, go ahead, you raise your hand.
Ma'am, especially in book reviews, they go a little, they throw a lot of critique and also support their argument, and so that people do know that their opinion is on the basis of something.
Yeah.
Most of all, they also give a summary of all the um,
Yeah.
books so that we know that they have actually done their research and read the book.
Shabash, very good. Many people think that review is actually a summary of a book, a summary of a movie, a summary of a drama, or any piece of uh, any artifact. It's not. It's more than a summary. It's okay to criticize. this leads to another question, that can people criticize in a review? Can I criticize when I am writing a review? The answer to this question is yes. But there is a famous movie which was released when I was probably doing my MPhil, Khuda Ke Liye. The movie was made by Geo TV, and many famous actors were part of that movie project. And I read Shan was a famous film star who was Pakistani actor. Shan was also part of that movie. And I read a review of that movie in Dawn's Sunday magazine. And in that review, they admired movie. They appreciated the team. They appreciated for the story, the plot, the music. However, there was also criticism. So Pakistan's famous actor and model, her name is Iman Ali. Is that her name? Iman Khan or Iman Ali? I'm not sure.
Iman
Iman Ali, yeah. Yeah, she played the lead role, and she's not a mature actor. And they were criticizing her for because there were kind of loopholes in her writing, in her acting, and they were criticizing her for that. They were also appreciating the producer for casting Nasiruddin Shah, who came from the neighbor country to perform a lead role in the film. So it's totally okay to criticize, but when you criticize, you should have a solid logical points. Just like Hubab just said that she has read book reviews and people sometimes become critical for authors. It's okay to be critical, but if you are being critical, of course you should have solid reasoning and logic, that this is how I think. This doesn't seem appropriate or anything related to that. Is review a research based opinion piece? Yes, it is. Acha, I think this is quite simple. If you have not seen a movie, how can you write a review on it? If you have not visited a restaurant, how can you write a review on it? So it is all, I mean, it's not just having the exposure or experience. Actually, you should have solid research. It is a piece of it is an opinion piece which is based on research. However, the research depends on following items: ambitiousness. If anyone asks me to write a review on any Indian movie, Bollywood movie, I'll not be ambitious, because I used to watch Bollywood movies in my childhood. I've watched a lot of Bollywood movies until grade 10, maybe, or until my intermediate, but then I stopped watching them. And I do not watch them anymore nowadays. So I'll not feel ambition. And if you are not ambitious about something, it's kind of difficult, challenging for you to work on it. Sorry for the typo here, I'll fix it for my next class and before uploading it on Moodle. Amount of information available. Okay, now let's say maybe I discussed this in my last class. Walt Disney, which is a famous production company, and they're famous for their animated movies. Actually, let's call them creators of Snow White and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and all these fantasy movies. They recently released a movie, Encanto. And now let's say if anyone wants to write on that, so you need to consider how much information is available. You also need to consider how the movie is being received. But if the movie was recently received, then maybe you do not have uh, 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 you do not have enough information, because movies still being on air, people are watching it, people are developing their liking or disliking about the movie, and it's too early for you to tell if the movie was well received or if it gained popularity. I mean, I think I remember I remember reading something like in Dawn newspaper, they wrote that the movie didn't receive as much popularity as Disney's last movie Frozen did. Frozen was got more famous than Bruno is, but it's again too early to say anything. And then amount of time you have. So you do not want to write a review 3-4 years after a book is out. There has to be this element of novelty currency into it before you do it. So let's say Encanto was released a couple months ago. Now is the right time to write a review on that. However, writing a review on Frozen doesn't seem to be a selling idea, if that makes sense. Things you should consider while writing a review. Quotes, let's say, again, if anyone wants to write a review on Encanto, quotes of famous celebrities, famous film industry people, their interviews as well, and reactions. So let's say you watch movie with a bunch of people, and you want to, and you're preparing yourself to write a review on that movie. Pay special attention to how people are reacting. Are they crying? Are they laughing? Are they smiling? Are they singing along? Everything matters. Everything. And so, similarly, same goes with the review of a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant and you eat there, you may want to pay attention to your surroundings. How people are actually, do they seem to enjoy the food? You may even want to ask a couple of people how is their experience coming along. How to write a review. The intro is usually straightforward. It can be dramatic as well. Straightforward in the sense you can say this in the beginning that Disney has come up with another thrilling presentation in the form of Encanto. However, this doesn't seem to be as inspiring as Frozen was. Now, this is a very sort of straightforward beginning, and so there is no fixed rule or method for writing a review. You can be innovative with it. With the method, be logical about the use of tense. This is a question that many times students ask, that what tense should I use? Should I use a present tense or past tense? Or be logical. My answer to this question is be logical. If the movie is still in the cinema, then of course I think it will be suitable to use a present tense. However, if it's been a year or so, then maybe you can go for a past tense. Be wary of libel. Now let me ask you this question: what is libel? Libelous information क्या होती है? What is libel?
Ma'am, reliable,
Trust.
जी Daniel, go
trustworthy.
ahead. Daniel, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, trustworthy.
Are you sure about that? Anyone else?
It means something about true or you know
It's not about true. Okay, it's related to defamation. Libel means false statement, defaming statement. I mean, it is okay to be critical. You can criticize, but again, you need to be careful that you are not giving a defamatory statement, because that may lead to any legal proceeding. If your judgment is not based on research or any argument or any evidence, it may lead to defamation. And you have taken course on press laws and ethics, and I'm sure you have read about there are laws of for defamation. You're trying to, when you are trying to defame someone, laws for defamation and libelous laws, they are called libel. I encourage you to search up this term in dictionary, please. Well, this is the end of my my presentation. Noor wrote character assassination of someone by providing false information. That is that is correct. All right. Now I'm going to in your coming writing session, which is fifth and last writing session, I'm going to ask you to write a review. What do you think? What you would like to choose? A restaurant? Just share your ideas. A restaurant, a book, a movie, a drama. What appeals you?
Ma'am, a movie can be good.
A book? Sorry, what did you say, Betty?
Movie, ma'am.
Movie or
Movie or book.
movie or book? Okay, all right. Anyone else? Raja Zain just raised his hand. Go ahead, Zain.
Movie or book?
Movie or book. Here is one thing. I'm not going to ask you to select. I mean to write on anything. Like I'm not going to give you topic this time, because it's like if I ask you, okay, let's write a review on this particular movie, and it's likely that you haven't watched the movie. So I will give you choice here. Even you can write a restaurant on, even you can write a review on a restaurant as well. If there are many restaurants, especially in food street area, that are famous for Pakistan's local cuisine, for continental food. If you want to write about that, go ahead. But again, my suggestion is, remember, Saad, you raise your hand. Go ahead, please.
मैम रिव्यू किसी चीज के भी बारे में हो सकता है, लाइक कोई रोड हो सकती है या कोई मतलब प्रोजेक्ट गवर्नमेंट का.
Yeah, Saad, mostly reviews are written by movies and books and dramas. So remember, I couldn't teach in my last class, but I did assign you an activity, which was I asked you to read Dawn's magazine, Books and Authors. It's famous for publishing book reviews. I will encourage you for the next writing session, and I will write it specifically in my instructions, that write a review on a movie or a restaurant or a book. Okay? And you joined a little late, Saad. That is
Yes,
why
ma'am.
you missed a lot of important information that I didn't want you to miss. However, I have recorded this lecture, and I'll upload the recording on Moodle. Let me share my PowerPoint, sorry, my screen with you one more time to give you, those of you who joined late. Saad joined late, and Dalal Gilani also joined late. And if I'm not mistaken, Kamar and Noor Elahi also missed this information. Hubab missed it too, but for Hubab, I revised it. But your final exam, which is of 30% weightage, please look at your course outline. This is something which is already mentioned there. It has two components: your writing portfolio that you will submit on 15 February, and your recorded presentation in which you will answer who is your favorite columnist and what you have learned from this course. This part A, has 20 marks, and its submission deadline is February 15 before the midnight. Similarly, for the recorded presentation, the deadline is February 17 before the deadline. All right. The rubric for your portfolio is your language accuracy for the write-ups, all 5 write-ups. Then if you follow norms of opinion writing, and then I would like you to submit improved and revised drafts. For part B, your uploaded recorded presentation, essentially you will answer only 2 questions. First question is related to who is your favorite columnist and reasons for liking him or her. And second question, what you have learned from this course. For this part, I would like you to prepare 2 PowerPoint slides. On the first slide, just give me the reasons which should be based on research. And for the second question, I would like you to answer the question again with points that how do you think your learning in this course is going to be helpful for your future endeavors. All right. I have quickly revised all this information only for those students who joined us a little late. If you have any question, you can ask me now.
No, ma'am. Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, Hubab, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, I have a question regarding this assignment. We don't have to join the class like we did in the last session. So I want to ask, what would be the approximate limit for writing a review? Like in general, and also what is for us.
What was the last part that you said?
Ma'am, what is the review writing word limit? Like when we write it for a newspaper or online portfolio.
Hubab, it will happen just like last time when last time again we didn't have virtual session. I only asked you to focus on your writing session activity, but I did give complete instructions and I also gave you the word limit. This time the same thing will happen. The set of instructions that you will receive at the top of the Google Doc file, it will have all the details for you to know, like what is going to be your word limit and everything. And one more thing, it is also likely that I do not do my edits the same time. I may do it in the afternoon. And let me tell you the reason. Last time what happened was I was there for the whole time looking at everyone's work, but some people are a little slow. They take time. Many of us are slow. We take time in compiling our thoughts and everything. Does it make sense? So I think the best time for me to begin my comments and edits is 30 minutes after the session has begun. So this is what I'll be doing this time. One important thing, there were two students and I'll not name them. There were two students last time who were copying their material from internet. These are practice sessions. So please make maximum of them. There are only marks for your participation. There are no marks if you write right or wrong. Just write anything and take it as a learning session. You come to the writing session for learning. So please do not copy from internet. If you do, I may give you 0 marks for that. Any other questions?
Ma'am, I want to ask.
I asked about what is the limit of review writing in newspaper, because in online platform you can write whatever you want, but I think there is a specific limit for
Are you asking about the word limit?
in review newspapers or magazines.
Oh, so I thought, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking about the word limit for the writing session. Oh, for the review, usually the reviews are maximum 500 words long, or there may be 1,000 words as well. So, but for the writing session, I'll ask you to write only 250 to 300 words, because within the given time for the class, 75 minutes, that seems to be the reasonable length. For the newspaper, the maximum length is 1,000 words. In my experience, I do not know if I have read any review which is longer than 1,000 word, because 1,000 word means 1,000 words is actually 4 to 5 pages. I mean, not in newspaper columns in terms of writing, but 500 is ideal. 400 to 500 is ideal. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Somebody else also wanted to ask something. Suba,
मैम
maybe.
नहीं
जी, go ahead, Suba.
मैम हमने तो अभी तक राइटिंग सेशन दी है उसके जो हमारे मार्क्स हैं वो हमें किस तरह से पता चलेंगे कि आपका जो फीडबैक होता है वो हम देख लेते हैं कि आपने अंडरलाइन की होती हैं चीजें कि ये ठीक नहीं है तो मार्क्स का कैसे पता चलेगा
Suba, there are marks only for participation. If you have participated, your marks are full 10 marks. But if you missed any, then you have lost marks there. Remember,
All right.
I used to say that the portal will stay open until 6 in the evening. Remember?
Yes, miss.
So please, if for some reason you haven't taken part, go there, make sure your article is there. So if you haven't taken it serious, then for that particular activity, you will be losing marks. Otherwise,
Ma'am, actually, I came 3 weeks from 3 weeks earlier. I was in hospital holidays. I was admitted in hospital due to severe dengue and malaria. तो आपने मुझे बोला था कि आपके जब सारे राइटिंग सेशन हो जाएंगे ना तो उसके बाद आप मुझे अपनी मेडिकल रिपोर्ट जो होगी ना वो प्रोवाइड करना तो जो आपका फर्स्ट वाला मिस हुआ है तो मैं उस पे आपको जो है ना आपको जब अपना पोर्टफोलियो सबमिट करवाओगे ना उसके साथ मैं आपको अलाउ करूंगी कि आप फर्स्ट वाला जो है ना वो करें तो ये है कि अब हमारा फोर्थ वाला 10th को है तो सिंस वी आर फाइनल ओवर देयर हम प्रेजेंटेशन भी तैयार करनी है तो अगर आपने कहा था कि आप मुझसे बात करना उस टाइम तो आई विल सजेस्ट यू समथिंग फॉर दैट because I'm a graduating student. This is my second last semester. Next is my last. So you can understand how important it's for me.
And I totally understand your situation, and I'm glad that you brought this up. Suba, like I said this earlier, that today was my last lecture. With today's lecture, I have ended my all the syllabus. We have covered everything. So in next class, we'll not learn anything new, but I will come to classes to take your concerns, just like Suba discussed his concern. Suba, I'll discuss. I am here to help. There is nothing for you to worry. If you have a genuine reason for missing out any writing session, I will ask you to bring the evidence. I need to see the evidence that you had a genuine reason for missing the writing session. Okay? So
All right, ma'am.
if your evidence is genuine and it tells me that you actually had a reason, so that's okay. But for the writing portfolio, even if you have missed a writing session, even if it is missed, you are supposed to come up with all 5 write-ups.
All right, miss.
This is for everyone. If you missed any writing session, if you couldn't take part, yes, I will deduct marks, but still, again, for the writing portfolio, your writing portfolio should have all 5 write-ups, and you will upload it on.
मैम एक चीज और कंफर्म करनी थी, between the writing session you highlight something which you don't think that it's suitable with that skinny tan color, वो आप ही हाईलाइट करती है ना, तो मिस अगर वो इस चीज की इंडिकेशन होती है कि हम उसे अगर उसी टाइम ठीक कर लेते तो इट्स मीन दैट्स परफेक्ट, और वी नीड टू rework on that writing session to submit with portfolio.
My understanding is that if I comment on something or if I suggest an edit, it's in that case I'm helping you there. I'm telling you, okay, I think you need to correct your sentence here. So that is for your learning. But when you are submitting your write-ups in the writing portfolio, there I am asking you to come up with perfect drafts.
All right, miss, thank you.
Any other question? Do I have any other question?
No,
All right.
miss.
Okay, if anyone doesn't have any question, then I'm ending the session. Good luck for your last writing session on Thursday. My suggestion is to read reviews, a couple of reviews. You can find them in Dawn's magazine, Books and Authors, and you can also find them in their magazine Images, which is Sunday magazine. Dawn also sometimes publishes reviews of restaurants. I have read reviews of restaurants in Karachi, especially Clifton area. A couple of time I have read reviews of restaurants in Dawn. So Raja Zain, you just raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Ma'am, can we write a character review for our writing session if that's easy for us?
Can you write what?
A character review.
A character review? No, for the writing session, I'll only ask you to limit your writing on to review a movie, a drama, a restaurant, or a book. Okay? All right. Thank you for your time and for your attention. And now I'll see you all next Tuesday, because on Thursday we have the writing session. Thank you and goodbye.
Allah
Thank you,
Hafiz,
ma'am.
ma'am.